All right. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, James Scotty Scott. James is one of my personal favorites as a speaker. I asked James before the service when's the first time he started talking here, and we both agreed it seemed like it was around 15 years ago. For two old men, we did pretty good scratching our heads. When was it you first started? But we both had a consensus it was around 15 years ago. James is a licensed Unity teacher. He's going to be applying for the ministerial program with Unity. And he also goes to the schools. He said just a couple of weeks ago he goes to the schools, and he's known as the loud poetry guy. And that means he uses his humor, his sense of comedy to get the kids' attention, and then he teaches them about the beauty of poetry. What a great special guy Scotty is, and we're so lucky to have you, Scotty, so come on up.
Man, if you knew how few notes I had up here, you'd wonder what was coming next. My talk title today is A Baby's Hiccup. We're not going to talk about that right yet. Just wanted to tell you what it was. A couple other things I wanted to cover first. First is I wanted to give you a medical report. I am still working on ridding my body of cancer. That is still an ongoing issue. It's been 10 months of chemotherapy now. We had a little setback in sometimes we don't understand everything that is said to us as clearly as we ought to. And when the doctors tell you that you should be eating and drinking on a regular basis because the chemotherapy is altering your body chemistry, they're not kidding. Somewhere near the end of March, I went through several days where evidently I didn't feel like eating and drinking very much. March 31st at 10 o'clock in the morning, I collapsed in the middle of an intersection and spent the next week in the hospital. I had a blood transfusion, I had water transfusions, I had stuff by the end of the week, I had acquired a blood clot in my leg, which I didn't have when I first went into the hospital. I attempted 2 pieces of humor in the hospital while I was there, none of which were appreciated by the medical staff. The doctor Wednesday said, okay, we came in 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so we're going to do a blood transfusion on you in a couple hours. I went, oh, okay. He said, yeah, it's going to take like about 8 hours. I went, oh, okay. I said, so I'm getting blood at twilight? And he went, no, it'd be closer to about 5 or 6. I'm way too hip for this room. So then they announced on Saturday that they might be letting me go on Easter Sunday. So I called up a friend of mine with the Hurrah Players. And I said, could you do me a favor? Could you check your prop room? She said, what for? I said, could you see if you have a big fake rock about 6 feet across? She said, why? I said, because if they're going to let me out on Easter Sunday, I want to put it in front of my door and roll it out of the way. And she said they didn't have one. So there's my medical. So now I'm better now. I'm eating and drinking a lot. Anything I walk past that's liquid, I drink. And so I'm better. Also, I wanted to point out that today is the centerpiece of a celebration of 40 years since the release of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Yes. Oh, man. Talk about it. And, and I look back on some of that stuff. The whole budget for the movie was $400,000. You don't budget a YouTube video for $400,000 these days. I mean, these guys, what they were able to accomplish and the impact it made on people was absolutely phenomenal. So I had to take a look at that and go, that's so cool. So do something Pythonish the next couple of days. Okay, now into the baby's hiccup. I was in church a few weeks ago, and we went into meditation, and we went into a full silent, about a minute, 2 minutes, where the piano stopped, everybody stopped. And the only sound in the room with 200 people in church was a baby hiccuping. And even though it's a big room, bigger than this one, when the only sound is the hiccup of a baby, everybody hears it. And it's regular. I looked up hiccups. They're known for being very regular. Once you get about, it's not like you hiccup now and you hiccup 5 minutes from now. You hiccup now, and whatever the interim is, if it's 20 seconds, then you hiccup then, and then in another 20 seconds, you'll hiccup again. Now, the next time you get them, it may be different, but every time you get a bout of hiccups, the interim is almost exact. You could set your watch, so every 10 to 12 seconds. And I thought, this is so cool. And I wrote it down. I wrote, unfettered as a baby's hiccup. Because this kid wasn't trying to stop his hiccups. Now, had this been an adult with hiccups in the middle of the meditation, oh my gosh. This would be an embarrassment. It would cause reaction. First off, you'd probably slap both hands over your mouth trying to stop, which isn't going to help at all. So there'd be all kinds of things you would try to do, probably ending up with, in a matter of 30 to 45 seconds, running out the door in the middle of the meditation. An adult is going to try to do something about the hiccups. But the baby doesn't care. Because it's just a hiccup. I thought, this is so cool. And I looked at it, I said, now, where else can we find a reflection of this in life? And I'm thinking, how about everywhere else? How about little teeny kids who don't know when something is right or wrong, that they're supposed to be embarrassed about it, or that this is directed at them and they're supposed to get angry about it, and they just play through something. But the adults react. And the longer we live life, the more baggage we pile on ourselves, and it causes us to react even more when something is presented to us. So that's why by the time we're in our 60s and we get the hiccups, we're frantic. I mean, I looked up cures for hiccups, definitions of hiccups. It's a spasm of the diaphragm. Has nothing to do with you personally. It's a muscular spasm, that's all. But the people do the weirdest things to get rid of hiccups. Any thoughts? What do you do to get rid of hiccups? What? Hold your breath.
Count to 10.
Count to 10.
Drink water backwards.
Drink water back. What is that? Spitting it in the glass? What do you drink water backwards?
You drink down, you drink on the other side, and you bend over as you drink. And it gets rid of them every time.
Okay.
Have someone scare you.
Have someone scare you. Sugar. Say, and I will tell you that if you wrote an entire list of these things, about 20 of them, and each time you got hiccups, you tried all 20, that maybe one of them is going to work for you, and it's not going to be the same one that's going to work for somebody else. We, somewhere in our minds, set what does and doesn't work for hiccups. And so that also means we set it for other things in life. Now, I noticed the connection between the kids and this, and I went, now, who else talked about children? And I went to Matthew 18:3. And it wasn't Matthew who talked about it. It was Jesus who said, truly I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. What did he mean? He didn't mean get shorter. He didn't mean get dumber about the ways of the world. What he meant was release the baggage you're carrying around. And if you're going to enter the kingdom of heaven, another thing Jesus said about the kingdom of heaven is, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So I'm not telling you this so you'll know where to go next. All you have to do, if you can become like a child in terms of releasing your baggage, is you'll get better connected with who you truly are inside. And that's a big deal. Because that's how you live an amazing and spectacular life. Is you live as an unbaggaged child would live. You find that center place. I'm reading all kinds of stuff by all kinds of people who make a lot of money. Alex Lloyd, I'm reading his book Beyond Willpower, which is a great book. And if you want Alex's information, it's $295 to sign up on the internet to get it. I'm talking to this person and that person, and these people are making hundreds and thousands of dollars. And it's all coming down to what you need to do is connect with who you are at your heart center. The more I try to filter out everything else they're saying, the more what I'm finding is the core of who you are, the spiritual love that you are at your center, is the great power that you have. It is you as God at the center of your physical being. And it's what you need to be in touch with the most, to have the most amazing and the most perfect life of all. As a child, you will enter the kingdom of heaven. Now, in the 7 chakras of the Hindu belief system, the 4th chakra is the heart chakra. Anybody know what the color of the heart chakra is?
Green.
Green. You guys are good. See, I thought red. But I was guessing wrong. See, I figured it probably a rainbowy kind of a thing. But yeah, it's green. The central, the central chakra. Now, everybody wants, it's kind of like, we're way too competitive. I want to get to the top chakra. That's the crown. That's the best one. That's where I want to live. And the top, but no, you need them all. You got a physical body. You need all 7. And you're going to spend some time in all 7, and you're going to energize the energy in each one. And if you energize all 7 of them, and you get that energy really flowing, it's great. But you can't knock 1 or 2 of them out because you don't like them. They're energy centers. So this what happens to be this. So the crown chakra is not your ultimate goal. You're not climbing Mount Everest here. You need them all. So the center of the whole thing is the heart. And it's green. And so if you go to focus in a meditation on love and on your heart center, wrap yourself in green. Wrap yourself in the color. Wrap yourself in what green feels like. You remember the Emerald City in Wizard of Oz? But you remember the book? How many of you actually read the book? In the book, why was the Emerald City the Emerald City? You remember the guardhouse in the movie? That was in the book. When you went into the guardhouse, before you went into Emerald City, they clamped on these glasses that had green lenses. And then you went into the Emerald City. And everything was so green. And so beautiful. It's like you're wearing green glasses. Of course it's green. But they didn't show that in the movie. But in the book, that's what it was. And when you left out the guardhouse and they took the green glasses off of you and you saw the rest of the world as it was. But the Emerald City was emerald because you were wearing filters. What you need to do here is get rid of your filters that you see the rest of the world with and see it through pure love. Jonelle talked about Celestine prophecy this morning. One of the keys there was getting to your heart center, getting past all of the things that bother your vision and getting to the touch of love that you could feel with the plants, with the rocks, with the earth, with the other people. That's the power of it all. So let's take a second. Put one or both of your hands over your heart. Close your eyes and see and feel green. Feel right behind your heart. There's an energy center, and it's a multi-dimensional energy center. It doesn't take up space, but it's energy, and it's your energy. It's you at your core, and it is absolute pure love. And it's a cell phone. And it's what you are at your center, And it's what everybody around you is at their centers. You are all connected. When 2,000 people in Nepal make a transition, 2,000 segments of us have moved on to the next adventure. And 2,000 more will come in from somewhere else to start anew. And at your core, that is love, you are to welcome them in and welcome the other travelers out. You are love. They are love. And as you go back and forth between each other, there will be moments when you forget that. At that moment, grab a hold of your heart center. Be that love again. Forgive them by forgiving yourself. Be love. Take a breath. Now come back into the room. That's your holy grail today. When you go out, when you talk about others, somebody that you have trouble forgiving, forgive. Because in forgiving them, you forgive yourself and tune yourself back in to the pure love that you truly are. You didn't do anything wrong. You just forgot. Use your love as comfortably and freely as that little baby used that hiccup. That morning, that baby made a difference in 200 lives by hiccuping. Hiccup love to everybody this afternoon.